Feeling affected by the planets, the stars, and all this craziness that's been going on all weekend. Today's a step 8 day, which is a decision day. Come on in and we're going to talk about why everything was the way it was last week and what's coming up the week in front of us here. We've got some big things. 2 days, we have a major event coming. And in addition to that, 12 days from now, we've got a major event coming. So welcome. We're going to be bringing up Chris Witecki, my son Sadek, Serious Joy, my favorite astrologer. And Chris, over the years, has helped me navigate some of the biggest changes in humanity, helped me navigate the clinic and leaving the clinic. And that was all a part of looking at the astrology, looking at why things are happening. We're going to be talking about that today. This week coming up is a super important week. I mean, one of the biggest weeks that you could ever imagine. So looking forward to today. So put in here while we're waiting for Chris, put in your sun, your moon, and your rising. If you have your degrees, like my sun is 29 degrees Sagittarius. I have 16 degrees Capricorn moon and 21 degrees Aries rising. Put that in there as well. And let's see what's going on. Today's going to be a powerful day. Looking forward to it. Sunny in Delaware. Yes. What a slow day today. Also, give us a bunch of lights down here. People are just in a weird space today. Can you message Chris? Cancer, Virgo, Capricorn. Hello from Amazonia. Amazonia. Taurus with Libra rising. Scorpio, Aries, Gemini, Venus, and Libra. 27 degrees Pisces, 22 degree Gemini rising. Wow. Katerina, you are very much like Cynthia. Sun Sag, Leo Moon, Virgo rising. Here. 0 degree Capricorn, Capricorn Sun, Aries Moon. Wow. Wow, lots of caps coming up here. Lots of Virgos, lots of caps. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, buddy, good to see ya.
Are you still in Mexico?
No, I am actually back in Denver where it is snowing.
Welcome to the snow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a rude awakening, but I'm okay.
Wow, what a different energy today. I mean, I've already had a couple lives today, things going on, but it's felt not like a normal decision day. It felt very like normally people are really asking a lot of questions. Almost no questions today.
Oh,
Like normally
really?
I'd have about 40, 50 people asking to go live, and today it was like three.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope hope we're not out of business. Well, I think people will come to, I mean, that tells you how clear people are. Really, is what that's the affirmation of the decision making. Like the decision has been made. Remember, I thought last week was about really planning
Yeah.
our lives and coming up with that plan. And now I think we know what the plan is. It's just time to go forward and do it.
Right.
Is how I kind of look at it. But the moon's also in Sag, so it's a very reflective day where you're sort of seeing how far where you've been, where you're going. It's sort of like, it's travel. Sagittarius is travel. So we're en route. We're staring out the window as the scenery is, blurring by,
So when you
of
say the
life.
moon in Sagittarius is traveling, would it be like our emotions are traveling through this decision of
Yeah,
Capricorn?
our emotions are traveling through the narrative.
Right.
So it's sort of like we're reliving the narrative. We're feeling what we've been before and what we will be again, or what will be next, kind of thing. So it's sort of like that feeling of an adventure, the feeling of it being in motion, en route to somewhere. So it's sort of the best way to liken it is like being on a train and staring out the window. You've already decided to where you're going. Now you're just emotionally getting there.
Right. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, I feel that.
I definitely feel it. I mean, I just came back from a vacation in Mexico, so I feel rejuvenated with a new plan, a new perspective. So it's hard for me to just think, is this just me? Or is the whole world feeling this? But it's good for you to affirm that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're feeling the same thing. No, the whole world's feeling it. I mean, it was a weird live. I actually ended my live early today. The whole
Oh,
world's
really? You're like,
solved. There's no questions. Ask Gary anything was over.
oh, that's funny. I've had those days like I'm dying up here, like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, yeah. You
Ooh,
gotta help me out, guys. No, no,
yeah.
and I was also feeling tired, but I mean, I did some work with Certified Health Nut, Troy Casey. So he had some physical issues that were connected to an emotional release that we did last week with him, and so we were working them out. So I was also like knee deep in that, and I normally don't do that stuff before my lives because it can really take me out.
Yeah.
And so I had
Yeah.
that too. So I wasn't sure which was which.
Yeah. I come bouncing off the walls after a reading or a consultation that's really deep, especially if I've been channeling. I almost have to walk it off for me.
Yeah,
I like get up. I can't sit still. I'm just kind of like, I got to shake it off,
yeah, yeah.
to quote
I
Taylor
mean, that's what
Swift.
Bachelor Maneuvers is walking it off, just not without moving anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Twisting and
So
shining.
what does this week look,
So,
look like then? Because today. I mean, it does feel like I'm getting lots of stuff done. I'm concluding on stuff, but we've got tomorrow. We got Wednesday's got to be a little bit of a shaker Wednesday, and then the results on Thursday, right?
yeah, this is we call this initiating countdown sequence. Like,
Right.
so this is, Serious Jar, we're using the metaphor just to share with you of blasting off in a rocket ship, and we're now we have looked all the way through. Plus, I have a countdown 2024 webinar this Saturday where I give the whole year in advance.
Where do
And
they
this,
find that, by the way?
uh, they can find that at senseichristopher.com.
Okay.
Senseichristopher.com. You'll see you can sign up for you can sign up for it right there. It's a 2.5, 3 hour webinar. I'm going to walk you through the whole year. But I'm sharing here for everyone that between now, we look at like you launch this week. So this is the countdown. We have a new moon on Thursday, and that's when the rockets start to fire.
Right.
Okay. And then they basically blast off for a full week. Then at step 27, the second booster kicks in, and you go even higher. And then we see all of Aquarius as space travel, basically going to a new place in space. And then we see Pisces is going down a wormhole this year, where you will then go through space time, and then we see you parachute landing on the new planet in Aries.
Right.
That's how we see like this next spring. It's literally a launch. And this is about preparation. Today is when you are doing today's sort of your systems check. Like, got my water? Check. Got my insurance?
Yeah.
Check. Kiss my wife? Check. Like you're kind of going through the checklist, and that's what I'm saying. We're kind of strapped into the rocket. Now, what does this mean in practical terms? It means a new way of managing and ruling your life. So we're launching a new way to rule, a new seat of power. That's what you're launching, is a new seat of power, which is a lot of it's coming out of the old cobwebs that hold you in the old power. So a lot of this is about, I'm not going there. I'm not arguing with that person on Twitter. I'm not even engaged in that conversation. A lot of it is opting out of the grips of old power pulling you back. I think that's a lot of it. But also it's about going forward and saying, let's do it. And Mercury squares Neptune today, which could be a little cloudy and ethereal. When Mercury squares Neptune, a lot of dreamy kind of energy where you're realizing that, hey, I'm heading for another planet right now. I mean, you start to realize like, wow, I never saw myself as, an astronaut, a cosmic astronaut, but I am.
That's why it feels that. I mean, kind of feels Pisces-ish today.
Yeah. I think that's a Mercury square Neptune. It's
Okay.
a we're sort of like between logic, intuition, logic, intuition, logic, intuition. They each keep pulling you back and forth. My dreams have been really intensely
Yeah, my
interesting.
my dream's intense too, and we were saying even like a week ago that the 10th and the 20th this month. That's where everything is like changing.
Yeah, actually. So, yeah, so what happens is once the rocket launches, again, for practical reality, this is probably you saying, I'm going to take the job. I know someone who had a job offer today. Literally, I'm going to take the job. I'm going to quit this. I'm going to fire this person. I'm going to hire that person. Like, there's like a lot of these decisions that's going to launch you into the new era. And then next, again, like you said, when we get to step 20, and we get to the 20th, the 19th and 20th, that's when you will be, Sun and Pluto will be moving into Aquarius together. And we look at that as that's when you break out of the atmosphere of your old planet, your old world, your old era. And that happens on the 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
So you're just going to rocket launch between really now and the 20th.
What does that mean? Does that mean like I made a decision? People that aren't aligned with that decision are going to fade away? Is that kind of the
Yes, there will be. In fact, that turning point happens on the new moon. So the new moon on Thursday, which is at 20 degrees, that's when the rocket, that's when the full mass launches. At that point, that's when the new power seat of power launches. So I think some people will double down and try to get their way. So we'll see a lot of the old power going, oh no, we're putting new restrictions on you. We're passing new laws. We're gonna keep you from flying away. But there's a square to the nodes on that new moon. The sun new moon squares the nodes at 20 Aries and the south node at 20 Libra. 20 Libra is saying goodbye to the old people who aren't going to come with you. And 20 Aries says, I'm becoming a cosmonaut now. I'm becoming an enlightened person. I'm becoming a Zen yogi. I'm climbing a mountain that obviously is too tall or too out of your reach, or maybe you're not interested. And we were talking about this today in our staff meeting, which was that, some people in your life have come here to play the role that you were in a past life.
right?
And that's why we feel so compelled to convince them, like, no, dude, you don't realize I was just in a past life and it screwed my whole life. And we think to ourselves, oh, I've got to save this person from going through what I once went through. But in reality, you're not there to save them. They're there to remind you, don't do this
Right.
again. That they're an anti-reminder. So this isn't even really win-lose. This is everyone playing the role they're meant to play. But there is a cross on Thursday where you cross a certain line where, yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. This person's obviously not going to make it with me in this next leg of the journey. There's going to be relationships that opt out.
So yeah, so basically so tomorrow we are going to start taking action on this, right?
Yeah, tomorrow you fire the engines.
Yeah. And what would that look like for people? Because it also gets a little fiery when we fire the engines, right?
Oh, it does. Like the ego is going to, rule the day tomorrow. Tomorrow, Mars will sextile Saturn. So you have to believe in yourself. So there's a test of believing in yourself tomorrow. Like, okay, I'm going to fire the rocket. Am I
Yeah.
crazy? Am I nuts? Is my mom correct? You know what I mean? So there's that check with Mars sextile Saturn. There's also the Sun trine Uranus, which is 19 degrees to 19 degrees. That happens later in the day. So we're going to move to 18 here in a couple hours. So we start to fire the rockets really this afternoon,
This afternoon, yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what it means is you tell your boss, no, I'm going to not take your offer. What do you mean you're not going to take your offer? Instant resistance. Stay down with me. Misery loves company. Come on, the water's fine, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
so there's instant resistance, and that resistance is really, again, you've probably had, a lot of times people see that as you got to remember, the outer world is an expression of your inner world.
Right.
So if you've got someone telling you you're making a mistake, that's because a part of you was thinking that the whole time.
Right.
And this person is now playing that role of your inner voice in the outer world so you can see it and go, yeah, that inner voice of mine is not correct. It affirms or denies what you've been thinking all along. But yes, expect resistance.
And a lot of people, because we're such an action-based society, so a lot of times we need resistance to get moving because we've been trained that way in the age of Pisces. It's like
Yes.
unless there's a wall, the mountain to climb or a wall to bust through, I'm not going to do nothing.
Yes. That's actually a really valid point, and one to talk about when we land on the new planet in April, because it's like if you've always been motivated by the fight. I've been joking with the Aries. I'm like, you guys are out of a job. You've been the fighters this whole time. We're getting rid of fighting now. What are you going to
Yeah.
do? Make music? You know what I mean? Like, what are the Aries going to do? There's like no more soldiers anymore. Like where we're going, there'll be, I'm talking about a 200-year transition, by the way. Actually, maybe not. If the Tesla bot becomes a little bit more sophisticated, we might have robot armies here before we know it. But the point is like if you've used resistance as a means of propulsion, you might have to recalculate and find a new way of
But
moving forward.
isn't that the majority of the world right now? Don't we use resistance as a way of
I
motivation?
think it's the whole structure of the 3D realm. You
Right,
know,
right.
it's that positive and negative. That the neutron and the electron, or the positron. The proton and the electron. You've got these two forces. These two magnetic forces are pulling together. But how you ascend that opposition is the neutral third eye perspective.
Right,
You
right.
take that third perspective to opt out of that
So
opposition.
would you say that an Aries coming in after June, the new position for an Aries is to be the leader?
Yeah, actually, on Serious Joy, I'm calling them the
Right.
trailblazers.
So they're like, look at me, I'm doing all of this now. I went through this myself. I no longer have that fight in me, and you can't have the fight in you either. So they'll be convincing people that we can do it without a fight, which would be the first time in my known history that Aries is doing that.
Yeah, and I think what happens is Aries is we're calling. I have came up with new names for all 12 signs, by the way.
Oh, did
Uh,
you? I
yeah,
gotta
for
hear
this.
this.
Okay, it's really good. The Aries are the trailblazers. So I think Aries now lead the way. Now they become, instead of being the hero and the rescuer and the fighter and the soldier, they now have the machete cutting through the unknown jungle.
Right,
They now trailblaze, and
right.
they now go out. We're all like, "You go first, Aries." Like and they will, and that's where they can still be macho and tough and show off their muscles and be the first and the best and the tallest and all these superlatives they love to be. But I think they now become trailblazers.
So we're likely to find this afternoon the fight. Actually, I had a little bit of it. I had a little bit of it. That energy come up here today already, like around me specifically. Not me this time. Who go figure, right?
Yep.
But I had it come up around me, and it was definitely a reflection of, for example, everything always happens to me a solid day before,
Yep.
and so I saw people around me acting that way, and I'm like, ah, that used to be me, and I was saying that already today. So that's going to happen today, and then for about 24 hours, and then we're going to go into this sorting period, right? Which is come late Wednesday, Thursday. Is I don't want this, I want this, I don't want this. Is that kind of the energy?
Yes. I mean, that's actually step 19. I don't want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. So step 18 is fire blast off. Step 19 is where the rocket's like it's starting to take off, but it hasn't gotten any momentum. And so there's that moment where you're like, is this shift gonna fail? Like, am I gonna? And that's the sort of like separating, because 19 nets to a 10.
Yeah.
So that's the zero is you going, my heart wants this, not this, this, not this, this, not this. This is the swimming through the void, step 19. 19 is where I usually crash the rocket, personally. Usually it's in that moment of takeoff where I'm like, ah! And the rocket does one of these. My Black Moon Lilith is at 19. My Uranus is at 19. My Saturn's at 19. Like, I can't seem to get past 19. So this might be the first year where I get past it. We'll see. The first lifetime.
Well, it's funny. So I went to a dinner the other night, and I'm always reading the tea leaves. Like I can tell that something's about to happen. So I had two 19-degree Tauruses at the dinner,
Whoa,
Grandmaster Tauruses.
Grandmasters.
I
Yeah.
had two. I had two December 25th Capricorns, but I
Oh,
had
wow.
five Capricorns, four Tauruses, three Sagittariuses at the dinner, all master level, with
And a partridge
and
in a
then
pear
with
tree.
yeah, 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 and then I had then there was one Aquarius Grandmaster, 0 degree, and then there was a baby in the womb of one of them that's going to be which is going to be a Grandmaster Pisces. And this is the dinner. Like I was like, I pulled everybody's astrology because I'm like, something's cooking here, and I
Mm.
don't know what it is, but I can feel it. It's like It's like all the energies around my life are coming together right now, getting ready to do something, to manifest or move something.
I feel that. I mean, I'm definitely on that course. I know what the course is. I've been plotting it for the last 6 months, so I know I'm a planner and a doer, though I always have been. But I feel like we're going out of this world this year. There's no question. Like the world is. I don't. This is going to be the most profound year of our entire life, and I don't know how it's going to end up. But looking at the planets, we're coming to closure. I've said this before. I'll say it again. We got Neptune hitting the same spot it was in the Civil War. We got Pluto where it was in the Revolutionary War. We got Uranus where it was in the World War II. Those are three major worldly conflicts that we either learned from or we didn't. That's the popcorn eating moment this year. Did we or didn't we learn from those moments?
Yeah, I feel we did. I just feel that there's that division of us as people. There's a group of people that are going to go back into that part of the war, and the other ones who learned are, like I said, going to go out into the jungle. And we're going to take our robots, and they're going to pick fruit for us, and we're gonna build a new world.
I believe it. And I actually, have you seen the new Tesla bot,
I
by the
have,
way? The new demo of the Tesla
I
bot?
have
Like,
seen it very detailed. The picking of the egg.
oh my God. It's yay to Elon's really impressive. I'm convinced he's from Sirius and he's an alien. But like, I'm amazed. Like, I think people will be financing Tesla bots in your
Yeah,
house.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it can literally do anything. I mean, it does it better than we do it.
And it learns on its own. You don't have to program it. It's learning how to make crack open eggs. It learned how to walk on its own. It's pretty fascinating. But that demonstration told me, oh my gosh, it will be my lifetime. I will have a robot changing my diapers as an old man, not a human nurse.
Yeah. So we got Thursday through to Friday. We've got that sorting thing, but then halfway through or end of Friday through the end of Saturday, we've got we're making it happen. We're bringing it into this world, but there's going to be some. It feels like there's some measure against perfection there.
What do you mean by that? Can you
Well, it
elaborate?
feels like we're like we're like okay bringing it in but we're like checking it. We're like I want this, I want that on Thursday Friday, but on Friday Saturday it's like yeah but that one didn't quite measure up. I'm gonna actually either fix this one or chuck it out, or I'm gonna do something else or repurpose it somewhere. This idea, this concept, this belief.
I think inside you, yes, but the rocket of your life is taking off.
Fair statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair statement.
I mean, inside you, I think so. The subplot of this week is shifting our inner dimension. So we're getting comfortable in our seat. We're not comfortable in our own seat yet. The rocket's taken off, but we're like, this seatbelt's not tight enough. I don't know if I what if I have to go to the bathroom? There's a lot of us shifting inside of ourselves, figuring out where to stand inside of ourselves. What's the posture to take with yourself vibrationally? What's the posture to take with your heart? What's the posture to take with self-discipline? Mars and Capricorn. So yeah, there's shifting going on, getting comfortable in our own skin, and that part of that comfort is the fact that life is changing. So I'd say the biggest part of this week is that life is going to change. Life will change this week. And someone saying they're having vertigo, a very common thing happening among my subscribers and viewers right now, a lot of vertigo. Gary, I'm sure you can speak to
Yes.
this. My impression is that it's a vibrational
Yes.
frequency change,
Yes,
and
it
there's some
is.
sort of body response to it.
So whenever change happens at a global level, it happens through pressure, frequency and
Mm.
pressure. And pressure is when we get too much tightness around here. That's why we tell everybody go do the upper reset on our website because it removes the tightness in here. There's vertigo, but there's a physical reason why, and that's because our midbrain, our emotional centers are being upgraded, which highly trigger in the ears. So the
Mm.
ears, the eyes are what cause vertigo, right?
And I've had a lot of ringing in my ears and pitch shifts in
Yes.
pitch. Like it'll like be ringing in one pitch and then it'll start to ring in another pitch. And that's when I know I'm shifting frequencies. I had a lot of ear ringing come back in the last 10 days.
Yeah, fair statement. That happens, I think, over the last since I've been tracking this kind of stuff, really since 2020. That happens in these major shift times. Is a lot of vertigo, a lot of nausea, coming up to it. Some people interpret it. They go into the story of it. Oh, something's wrong with me. I'm sick, and then they go in and they either go to a doctor or they do something else, and it creates more of a problem. Or the other ones are like, okay, I'm just going to sit back and feel it. Sitting back and feeling it is okay too, but there is something you can do. That's why going, if you're feeling that right now, go to the upper reset at thehumangarage.net and do that. That's all for all of this. That releases all of the tension around that causes vertigo, ringing, and nausea.
That's fascinating. Fascinating. I think too, I think as we go to a higher frequency, our optic nerve and our audio nerve has to recalibrate also. I think as part of it.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it does. So what happens is people get eye sensitivity, eye
Mm.
twitching, can't see. Cynthia currently is not able to see out of her left eye.
Ooh, that's some karma she don't want to see. I would assume
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something. There's something you don't want to see. There's a pattern you don't want to see.
You want to
Something
talk to her about it?
Sure, I'll talk to her about it. Yeah,
Let's
bring her on. I see her.
let's
I see
let's
her
talk let's
commenting.
talk to her. Let's talk to her about that one. That one's yeah, there's some karma that she don't
She
want to
gonna
see
come on
there.
with a patch?
Yeah. Pirate.
Arr.
Yeah. And what happens to Aquariuses?
Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Cynthia.
Chris.
How do I look in
Left
your
eye,
right eye?
left eye.
No, how do I look in your right
Oh,
eye? I know you can't see me with the left.
I'm
I had that
I'm,
cough too, by the way, Gary. I had that cough come through
I'm
me.
learning.
Yeah, the what? Yeah.
Oh,
The cough come through me in Mexico. Sorry, Cynthia. Go ahead.
I'm learning to use my third eye.
That's probably
Yeah.
it. Yeah, there's probably a neutral position
Hmm.
to see the neutral point of view.
Yes.
But you're
So looking
probably in a yeah.
looking
Go
at
ahead.
her chart, that's what we were saying. It's an intuition. It's something from some karma, something from the past, and it's coming up on the emotional side, on the feminine side, and she's saying, I don't want to see this. I don't even want to look at it. So what would that look like, knowing her or being around her chart?
I mean, I don't have her chart in front of me. You caught me off guard here,
Oh,
but like, but next time I'll be prepared.
hey, you guys talk for a second. I'll get her chart.
I
Okay,
have
good.
I have a 26 degree Scorpio moon and 14 degree Gemini, which is 14 degree my sun sign, which is also
Right.
14 degrees my Chiron.
Sun squares. So your sun squares your ascendant. As a result, yeah.
So basically my Chiron and my sun sign are the same, Pisces, 14 degrees.
Yes, your Chiron and your sun, and also your rising is
Correct.
14 as well, which are all Geminis. With Jupiter at 5, I think your mind won't it's probably not letting go of something, is what this probably is. Your mind's not letting go of something. And so what usurps the mind as far as authority inside of you?
As far as authority,
who's the mind's boss?
my mind is very good at storytelling, and it's usually the boss.
Right, but that's not how God designed it.
No,
Right.
not how God designed.
The voice is the ruler is the heart.
Yes.
So 14 is where your heart belongs. Heart is 1, 4 is belong. Where your heart belongs. So your mind is not where your heart is. That's probably the conflict right there. Your mind is overriding with your heart. Your heart probably doesn't care. Your heart wants to let it go. Your heart wants to just say screw it, and your mind's like, well, you're gonna let them get away with that? Are you kidding me?
True.
Like, the mind is arguing with that. So I think you might get vision back if you go with whatever the heart wants to write the narrative as. Like, you officially go with the heart's desires. And you force your mind to take a knee to the heart.
Mm-hmm. And be vulnerable, be open, and go with the flow, and be vulnerable, and love myself.
Yeah, because the most joy is from that vulnerability.
It is.
You're skipping. You actually are toning down the richness of your experience, potential, and missing out on the ride, which you will regret in heaven.
I will.
If you'll be like, damn it, I should have just enjoyed it.
That's what I've been telling myself.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride. Just enjoy life. Just enjoy the absolute moment of watching the snowfall today, and just really just being totally present to what's happening in the exact now. And it's actually been very peaceful and enlightening. And some of the, I was up all night last night, totally channeling. So life is going to look different in a beautiful way. And I have things to share. So, and then I've been hiding them under a bushel.
Because the mind was full of argument.
Yeah, and fear and letting all the other stuff run the show instead of letting my heart run the show.
I mean, I think you just encapsulated where humankind is right there. Like that's we're all there. So what that looks on a practical level is, what does my heart want next? So after this show, what's your heart want next? And then what's your heart want? And then what does your heart want? And then, hey, Cynthia, do you want to go to the store? Check your heart. Does my heart want to do that? You basically just hand control over to the heart. It's so simple. It's going to put Gary and I out of business. Like it's so simple. If you just listen to your heart, that is your umbilical cord to God, Creator, Gaia, everything.
And that's actually how I know to do it. And that's my intuition, and that's my natural instinct always is to do that in the moment. But what overrides it with anger and resentment and fear and all of that and being in control takes me quickly out of it. But when I'm in it, the road of life rises up to meet me and things just happen. And I know that feeling. So now it's the actual practice, the practice of staying in that moment and allowing and flowing and being on that river, just flowing like a twig on a mighty stream.
It's difficult to enjoy the ride, literally, and to continue to remind yourself to do it, because the mind wants to get way ahead and wants to figure everything out. And the mind can still have a job. The mind has to have a job. I mean, for a person like you, a client like you, I always tell you, what's your mind's job going to be if you're listening to the heart? The mind needs a job.
It does.
Otherwise, it'll take over again.
The mind's job and our perceptions, our perspectives is to tell the truth, acknowledge the facts of being, acknowledge the truth of reality, acknowledge the truth of life, acknowledge the truth of why we're here, and stick with the truth of being. And that's what we look to people for. We look to, Alan Watts or Dispenza or whoever we're following, Eckhart, and for the truth of why we're here, and listening to those in the mind then allows the heart and the mind to stay coherent.
It's the heart that says it's true, not the mind.
True. Oh yes. The heart says
the heart is the truth teller. So yeah, your heart is the one telling you this is the truth, because it resonates with the heart. It's true. The truth is, it's true for you. Let's talk big picture.
So
it's true for the ride you've set up for. It may not be true for someone else.
Right. It's always for us. The world shows up for us.
Yeah,
that part of it comes out around me, and I feel like it's because we're in Capricorn. It's my 7-degree Capricorn midheaven, and it's my Capricorn moon that it comes to interaction with, and that one stays strong, stays firm, and I think that's possibly where she comes up against.
Yeah, because you're any Capricorn is like holding on, and even then, even if he's going to change, he's going to let go and then hold on to something else real quick, like a monkey. It's not going. He's not ever going to be just flowing, flowing. He's always going to be hanging on to something. But if you look at the architecture of him, he can't tell us the medical industry is wrong unless he's hanging on to something else that's solid. You can't have it both ways. It can't all be not right. Something has to be. You have to hold on if you're going to tell the world the world's about to shift. So you need that. Ultimately. But you're going to with your midheaven at 7, you're saying you're going to hold on to what your spirit tells you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is Pisces, which is her.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where she brings. She brings what the spirit is saying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was like when we were.
Really sweet. Say that again. I love that.
She brings in the spiritual message to maybe give you the to see beyond what you're holding on to right now. She channels that spiritual message. So she's the spirit, and you hold on to that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. For me, when the mind gets going and the ego gets going, then I have no, that's where I lose my space for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's the mastery of being human right there. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole. We're stuck in an ape's body. The orangutan wants sex and pineapples. You know what I mean? Like the human wants to know the secret of the earth. You know what I mean? Like it's tough for all of us. So I think we're all stuck in that monkey mind and taming the monkey mind and rising above it. But also I think you're set up to where when you do find the truth, that Aries Capricorn is like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's my call. And you need it.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, like I was saying the other night when I had all that at that dinner, there was only one Pisces there, and the Pisces was in the tummy.
Aw.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Grandmaster Pisces coming out of the tummy.
In fairness, Pisces haven't really been ready, Cynthia. They've been shaking off the old era this whole time. They haven't known the way. I think they're just now starting to know the way, like to know, suspect, hypothesize. Oh yeah, the whole time. But it's always been one or the other for Pisces. Like now, I think they're choosing that third eye perspective, which is the way.
I know that to be true for me.
So I've had a lot of people in the comments asking about Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. They're all asking, "What's up?"
You're doomed. Next question. Just kidding. Aquariuses are about to drink the Kool-Aid. So where you're going, no human is gone for 26,000 years. I think Aquarius is right now. It's about falling in love with yourself. So for the next 5 years, it's about falling in love with yourself and letting go of where you are contrary to your own heart. So Aquarius's heart will say, I want this. And then Aqua will be like, oh, no, we don't. You'll contrary to your own self. Like you'll fight your own self on it because it's too sappy or it's cliche or everyone else is doing it. Like if what your heart wants happens to be what the whole world wants, your ego will go contrary on you and turn against you because you're being cliche. So they've got a lot of internal, like they're kind of in a straitjacket for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Where they're sort of like fighting themselves. They're getting over the fight they have with themselves, in essence. And what this launch for Aquarius is a launch in faith. You're going to have to commit to having faith or not. You can't be in between anymore. You either have faith or you don't have faith. Pick a side. And that's what's holding you back at the moment is whether or not you were undecided about your faith. And faith would be, I know inside me God's going to take care of me. I know I'm going to be okay. It's giving into that knowing. You already know. You're just afraid of looking foolish for admitting it or living by it. So it's a shame humility thing. Because Aquarius rule society, they actually are more concerned about what people think than any other sign. Any other sign.
Yeah.
Because they rule the fabric of humanity. They're very concerned about it. And they will tell you they're not, but they're lying.
Okay, Cynthia, maybe we'll see you a little bit later, about an hour.
See you in an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Love you both.
Okay, so
I don't
Chris,
think I won't lose Aquarius clients because y'all, I'm your best friend. I'll be the medicine.
You'll
you go through
be the
this
medicine. I am the
mark.
medicine.
Yeah.
So,
I'll help you.
okay, we got 20 minutes left. Let's go sign by sign and say what this launch means for each sign.
Okay, and I'll also give you the new term for the sign.
Okay, perfect.
How's that? So for Aries, they're now the trailblazers, and the launch for them is literally going to be a new career. So we already kind of covered them in the sense that you're no longer fighters, you're not warriors, you're not bodyguards, you're not policemen, you're trailblazers now. So this is about finding out where your power is going to be in your career, in your legacy, where you will end up, the mountain you will die on. You're changing all of your legacy and direction. So it's a course correction, direction change for this launch. You're now aiming for something else. Is that good?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Tauruses, we're now calling the master builders. Tauruses will be building the new era. They've always been the master builders. That's what they're come to do. Pluto will be in their 10th house, their house of career, for the next 24 years. So for Tauruses, the next 24 years are about your career getting higher every year. So Tauruses are in their baby stages of their career. This launch is about committing to your life's purpose, that you are here to build this or build that or build this for the world. So you're committing to the purpose of what you're going to build. And I think for Tauruses, a lot of that is cutting off the projects that will never succeed.
Right.
So they're
Yeah.
overcommitted. So most of the Taurus already knows what they're going to do. They have to actually cut out what they won't do.
Right.
That's most of their work. They have to focus on what matters and realize they can't have it all.
Makes sense.
It's a hard realization. Yeah. Geminis, we're calling them the mental gems now, and people are having problems with mental. So I'm opening up to another word besides mental, but maybe the brilliant gems, but their ideas are gems. That's that their ideas that they're going to come up with are the gems that we're looking for. That's where that term comes from. They have to make a major comfort zone change. So they have to commit to being uncomfortable and going into uncharted territories. They are sort of nested in. They are reluctant to get out of, they're going to have to go on diets or, do things that are uncomfortable, mostly things that their mind is making a bigger deal out of than it really is. Okay, so it's all in your mind, but they're committing to changing their life is what they're committing. So I would say market to the Geminis for your 28-day reset. They need it the most.
Right.
They need it the most. Cancers, we're now calling the moon child. And the point there is, one, they're ruled by the moon, but secondly, that they're now a child. They used to be the mother. It's now time for them to be the child again. So they need to be their own mother or their own parent to be that inner child. And they are leaving toxic relationships. So this launches out of, they've all, it's an ego thing for cancers to try to save that guy or to be there for the person who wouldn't be there. Their ego's actually caught up in staying in that toxic relationship. The victim card is overly played. You signed up for it. And at this point, this is about launching into a new type of relationship. And I think cancers are going to be, I wouldn't say promiscuous, but they're going to be sleeping out of the tribe with Aquarius. So like they don't know the right person for them. They don't.
They're going to be looking around.
Yeah, they're going to be looking around and trying. And Pluto and Aquarius is also pushing. They haven't been intimate as a result. Cancers seem intimate, but they're really not. They're about a hand's distance from you. So they take you off the breast as soon as you fed. You know what I mean? Like, and make you go without. So they're launching a new relationship. Leos, we're calling leaders of love. So they're the laughing stock, LOL. They're the leaders of love. They're here to launch a new lifestyle. So basically, Leos are caught in the sort of, emperor without the robes. Like their lifestyle is the old king kind of lifestyle where they have a lot of abundance, a lot of excess. They're not necessarily in their health, and even ones who are healthy because they look pretty, not because they're healthy. So they have to launch into a new lifestyle, a new way of being, and a new way of living day to day. They would also do well at the 28-day reset right now. And Leo risings. Virgos, we're now calling virtuosos because Virgos are actually going to master the playing of their heart's flute. They're here to launch what their heart wants. Like Tauruses, they mostly have to scrap the things that are unrealistic. So they actually want too many things. They're holding on to something and they can't pull their fist through the hole because they're holding on to something. They have to let go of their heart wanting it all and trust the universe that they'll be satisfied by what the universe co-creates with them. So the problem with Virgos is they try too often to do God's work. It's like some you leave it up to God. That's what they're learning.
Right.
And that means you got to let go of the fact that he's not going to be 5'10" with spiky blonde hair and, whatever. Like he might actually be a brunette with flat hair that makes your heart sing. So they have to go after what they truly love and let go of all their ideas of what they would love.
Right.
That's Virgos. That's their launch. Libras, we're calling the peace artists. And I think Libras are now, instead of being the diplomat or the judge and jury, which is what they were at the scales, now it's time to make peace an art, to find diplomacy and find the artistry of diplomacy and teach the world how to be diplomatic. For them, though, it means that they have to set their own emotional foundation instead of trying to control the world to feel calm. So Libras tend to try to control the world around them to feel calm instead of going straight within and being the masters of their own calm or their own emotional serenity. So this is a launch into emotional serenity by divorcing from their codependence with the world.
Right.
Pretty big one for
That's
Libras.
a big one.
We'll see if they pull it
And
off.
that's a big one. I got a Grandmaster Libra in me too, Max. So I feel that.
Yeah, you feel this pull to calm down the world to calm you down. So
Yeah.
to stay centered and calm in a storm, that will be your master Libra, the Libra that can stay calm in a storm.
Yeah.
Scorpios, we are calling peaceful warriors now.
Whoa.
And yeah, so it's time for them now to be sort of the master who has gone to war and learned to not play. The only way to win is to not play. So they're going to find peace in their heart, but still own the power of the warrior. So that's sort of again, like a calm Scorpio that won't sting you, but could. You know what I mean? They are coming out of mental domination. So they have mind games that try to dominate and control. And they do that to stay in control. Quite often Scorpios have their hand on the latch that could like open up and sink the ship. Like they often have a very powerful role where if they don't do the right thing, you will die. And so they tend to over dominate their thinking in order to hold that ground, to hold that line. But their mind has become overly controlling and they try to control the narrative, similar to Libras. Like they try to control the conversation so their mind can have the control they want. So they, in a way, are also divorcing from being powerful in their mind and not having buy-in from the world.
Right.
You know, allowing that to happen. Sagittarius is we're calling the unicorns. So you used to be a half man, half horse. Now you have a giant phallic symbol in the middle of your head and you fly.
Are you calling me a dickhead?
Nope, you said it, buddy. I didn't. Okay. But I think it's because the rainbow part of it is supposed to come out. In other words, they're meant to magically become magically delicious, to quote like some sort of commercial from my childhood. They ultimately are about to really shine because for them, this is about owning their worth in the world and their value in the world. So Sagittarius have allowed the world to claim their value. That's the old power structure. And the new power structure is Sagittarius name their price. And the hard part for Sagittarius is the whole take it or leave it thing, because a Sagittarius doesn't want to leave anyone behind. So
Yeah.
to say, that's my price, take it or leave it, is scary because the Sagittarius is afraid of being the cheese that stands alone. But you will have to be the cheese that stands alone, at least for a couple of moments. There'll be old customers who won't pay your new price, but then the new customers will see your value. You have to hold out to that time passage of power.
Yeah.
So this is the end of you. You've been reading. You rode the whole rat race, and then you finally. And as a 29, you got off that a lot sooner. Actually, you're ahead of most Sages on that.
Yeah. The getting off of it was like jumping off a train that was moving though.
I bet. Well, that's pretty much, you were in flight as a Sag. I mean, you were always in motion. Yeah. It was a moving train. Capricorns we're calling the captivators now.
Ooh.
And I think it's time for them to now go into the business of the new era. So they're going through an ego change. Their ego used to be like Donkey Kong on the top of the building, throwing down things, eating girls. Like basically they want to be the king of the mountain. Their whole power was they're the best, they're the richest, they have the biggest house, they're the most beautiful wife. Like they were the king and queens of capitalism. And now it's time to become salespeople of the new era and also to invest in the new spiritual real estate of the future. So I think they're going to become very captivating because they're going to be selling us things that we didn't know we wanted. So ironically, I would have never guessed this. I used to think Capricorns were in the way of the new age. I now think they're going to be the ones selling it.
Interesting.
I know.
Yeah, that makes sense though. I feel that. I mean that's why my 7-degree Capricorn midheaven is there, right? That's where the position I'm in is selling the spiritual version of the new era.
Totally. I mean, and Capricorns are opportunists. So like they land on Antarctica and they start selling snow cones. Like they instantly go to the business of what's around them. They unionize the penguins before you know it. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole takeover. Like it's pretty crazy. Aquariuses, we're now calling the forerunners. So Aquariuses are now the forerunners. They're the ones to get out in the ahead of the pack, to scope out what's about to happen, to see what's about to happen. And going back to what I said, the key here is Capricorn Aquariuses need to decide with this new moon, do you have faith that you're chosen? And I think it's that you're the chosen one. That's what they're having a hard time realizing, that why am I the chosen one? Because their mind thinks that. But what they don't realize is everyone's the chosen one once they realize they're the chosen one. That's God's paradox. So you're not the chosen only one, you're the chosen one. That's the separation of capitalism versus conscious capitalism. So they realize they're the forerunners. So they have to commit to having faith. And that means you got to just commit and jump. You have to commit and jump. There's no other way around it. You can't go down slowly. And if you don't jump, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. You really will. And some will be left behind, but not many. And then Pisces, we're now calling the dream weavers. Because
Dream Weaver.
exactly. Oh, dream weaver. Exactly. That's Pisces. They're here, we believe, to weave the new dream, to create the new dream. What is the dream of the new era? What is the dream of new life? They're here now they were the owners of religion and that God existed. And that was the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces was God exists. Okay, that's coming out of the age of Aries, which is, brutality and violence. So they're here now in the new era to help us make our new dreams. So what do you want to do with that Neptune energy? For them, this Capricorn is realizing they have a new role in the world. So they're committing to a new role. Whatever their role was, actually, I thought we saw Cynthia talk about it. She said to us,
Yeah.
I'm here for this, I'm here for that, I'm here for this, I'm here for that. That was her Capricorn declaration right there. She was actually living the astrology on camera for us, telling us what she is and what she isn't. That's what Pisces are doing. They're now stepping into their world role, and really, they're here to graduate from the age of Pisces.
Right.
So the Pisces who are alive today are walking embodiments of the entire age of Pisces. And they are concluding the lessons of the age of Pisces within their vessel. And they're about ready to step out and report to the masses what they discovered.
So for this week, what's the best strategy for people? They're coming through between now and next Monday. What would be the strategy that they should take, the way that they should roll?
I think you've got to really commit to what your heart wants. So it's all about commit. And Capricorn's about deciding and committing. And so you have to decide. There's two parts of the week. One is you have to decide and commit to what you want, which means you have to let go of what you don't want. That's the other part of 8. There's always a top and a bottom. The
Right.
top wins, the bottom loses.
Yeah.
So you have to realize, you have to let go of what is not going to happen this lifetime. And that, being spiritual and believing in multiple lifetimes gives you some flexibility, because you can realize that you can do that next life. You can do that next time. So don't be holding on to what was or what wasn't.
I think my counsel to people generally has been, whether it's this week or this entire year, is that adaptability is the winning stance for this year. It's to be flexible and adaptable, because there's nobody that can tell us what's going to happen. I mean, the world is coming to a massive shift, and if somebody's resisting, that shift is going to be painful. If they're not resisting, that shift is going to be like miraculous and wonderful. It's like a kid going through a new store or a new story.
Agreed. Actually, what you just said was the second half of the week. The first half of the week is commit. The second half of the week is become emotionally adaptable. So your sensitivity, your feelings, it's really your feelings that end up holding you up. The ability to not adapt is usually the inability to face a certain feeling. The mind will change very quickly. It's very flippant. It's actually not very loyal at all. But us trying to avoid certain feelings, like jumping into a cold pool, how long do you stand on the side of the pool, reluctant to jump in the cold pool as the ship is sinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, the
Yeah.
Water's cold. I don't fucking care. This is the Titanic. You're going down. You either deal with the cold water or you die.
Are you
Like,
dying?
right. So there's this moment where you have no choice but just to hold your nose and jump, and then yes, be emotionally flexible. I'll say this again for my countdown coming up this Saturday. It's like the human race has never been in this place ever in its history. Nobody knows how it's going to turn out. May the best person succeed. This is one moment where it doesn't matter if you start off low class, poor, abandoned. I don't care what your starting story was. In this moment, you're going to see people rise to the top that you never expect to rise to the top because they were able to take advantage of the chaos rather than be overblown by it.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
if
what
you
I
can,
feel. That's what I feel. I mean, that's why we live the way we do. I mean, we have a view for 3 months. We live on a 1 month plan. We can put everything in our backpack and leave tomorrow and fully function anywhere in the world. And that's been the key to our being successful this year because everybody else was dug in. No, I'm going to do this. I believe I'm going to do this. This is the way I planned it. And what we've been doing is just adjusting and shifting.
that's a great plan. I've been reading this book on how to be a better executive, which is funny. It took me till the end of Capricorn to finally care. I mean, Pluto. But one of the points he makes in this book is that, like, you make an action plan, you achieve the first action, and then you reevaluate the whole plan.
Yes.
That you reevaluate the entire action plan every time you check off one of those actions, which I thought was a profound insight on how to remain a flexible corporation or whatever. So, don't, it's unlimited possibilities. And anyone who tells you they know what's going to happen doesn't. They're lying. Even I don't know.
Yeah.
I know the winds that are blowing. I know the storm front's coming in. So, how you navigate that ship or that surfboard is really going to determine your
So
success or failure.
we know where we want to go. We have ingredients of things that are required to get there. And those are all sitting on the outside. And as we shift every time, exactly what you said, we take a step, then we go, okay, we'll bring that one in and this one in. Okay, take another step, put those back, bring this one and this one in. That's what we've been doing, and we've made ourselves as a community adaptive like this, which, you know, to be it hasn't been easy for people because
Oh,
people
no.
want to live with certainty, and we're saying, yeah, I'm certain till the end of this month, and that's about it.
Yeah, certainty is change. When you live by
Yes.
that principle, your certainty is change, then you're prepared for everything. And that's a big shift, I think, between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius as well. I think when we were trying to fight for survival, coming back from losing our civilization in Atlantis, we wanted things to be permanent because we were coming out of the water, we were drowning.
Yeah.
So you wanted things to not change. But
Right.
then once you're up on the surfboard, you want bigger waves. It's
Yeah.
cooler.
Want the change.
Yeah.
Yeah. The change is fun. Yeah. The
I
change is
love
like
change.
that's where it happens. That's where the fun is. Otherwise, it's just boring. Like I want to ride the wave. I get up every morning and like, what's next?
Yeah. I'm excited. And that's what going to Mexico last week did for me was made me realize, oh, I am so good when I'm in change. I am so thrilled by change. I need to change it up. And so I decided my New Year's resolution was it's going to change every month. Everything's going to change.
Yeah.
Where I live, where I work, how I live, how I work. I'm just going to keep it moving. That's when life is the most fun.
So so Chris, you do on Friday nights. You do the show live, right? And
I do a live show.
you go deeper into these
I get
topics.
super deep. I do a 12 for all 12 signs of horoscope. It's live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube at Serious Joy TV. At Serious Joy TV is the YouTube channel. And again, I am doing a Countdown 2024 webinar at senseiChristopher.com if you want to be part of the webinar. You'll have access to that video all year long, by the way. And there is question answer at the end as well about the year, but mostly the webinars that give you a map of how to navigate the year. I'll give you a couple of little spoilers right now. Man, we land into a new world. Things take off in April. You feel like $1,000,000 in May, and then you're a stranger in a strange land in June.
Yeah.
So it's April, May, June is going to be into sort of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I'm looking forward to that. I am really. This is the point where all those truthers, those people out there that have been saying, wait for people to wake up. It's coming, and it's going to be wilder than you think. And what's crazy is the ones that have been asking for people to wake up. Those are the ones, for the most part, are going to have a big wake up.
I do think that's true, but it's like while you're waiting for them to wake up, what are you
Right?
missing out on? Like, go build the new world,
Yeah.
and have it waiting for the people who woke up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like I look at it back in the last time Pluto was in Capricorn. You know, like, or actually even before that, like when we came to the United States to start a new land, everyone in Britain thought we were absolutely nuts. You know, tobacco plantations later, who's crazy now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so
Right.
it's like, if you want to be that pioneer that's the first to the new era, this is go for it. You
Yeah.
know, like you'll be the first to discover gold, and the squatter always has the most
Yeah.
advantage. The one who's
Yeah. That's what
there
we're feeling
first.
too.
We are
Thank you,
too.
Chris. It's been a pleasure. Can't wait till next week. This is going to be a crazy good week. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I can't wait to get to next week and say, aha, this happened, because I feel it.
Next week we'll be in the shuttle, dude, bouncing like this with helmets on, like, like with fire and brimstone falling by us. It's gonna be crazy, but I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Chris.
Ciao for now, friends. Bye.
Ciao for now. You guys, if you want to know how to navigate this storm that's coming and all this beautiful stuff that's coming at us, go to our products page and then partners and go to Serious Joy. And you can try out Serious Joy for $3.99 for the first month. No obligation at all. If it works for you, it works for you. You get to try it out, and you get to have a daily forecast with Chris and his team. In addition to that, you get 7 messages a day that keep you on track. Super, super powerful. It has been this is my 7th year using the service, and it has been the way that I have navigated my life personally, because I didn't know about astrology. I mean, I knew some things about astrology, but I didn't really know how to implement it in my life. This has been the biggest change in my life, and I encourage you to grab it. Watch Chris on Friday nights, and come back here next Monday, and let's see what happened. Thank you so much.